Hi, I'm Vicky, and today I'm going to show you how I made these beaded hair combs. To make my beaded star hair combs, I've got an embroidery hoop which I've got loaded with 2 layers of just white tulle, and in between them I've got a layer of solvay, which is a dissolvable stabilizer. For the pattern, I found a free downloadable star template just on Google. Just did a Google search for free star templates, and I photocopied it and checked the sizes of the 3 combs that I want to make, and I'll transfer them onto my tulle just using this disappearing pen. I've got 3 metal hair combs which I'll put them onto at the end. I've got a clear thread, needles and scissors for sewing the beads on, and I've got a selection of different crystals and beads and sequins that I'm going to be using to make them. I'm going to start by using my disappearing pen to transfer my first star onto the tulle. You find if this starts disappearing while you're sewing, you can just put your template back underneath and go over it again. Next, I've loaded up my fine beading needle with the clear thread, and I've got it knotted into my tulle and coming out the right side. And I'm going to start by doing the outline of the star using these little silver seed beads. So I've threaded enough beads onto my thread to reach along the first side of the star, and I'm going to put my needle down at the very point of it and pull it tight. Then I'm going to come up next to those beads and using the thread I'm just going to hold them down into place. So I'm coming up one side and then going back down and over the other side, and it's holding the beads right on that line where I want them to be. Then I'm going to go do the same back up and then come up ready to start the next line, and I'm going to continue this all the way around the points of the star to do my outline. So this is how my star looks with the outline all beaded with the little seed beads. Next I'm going to stitch on these little crystals which are in a metal backing, and they've got holes in the backing that I can sew through, and I'm going to use my clear thread again. I think I'm going to arrange them like that in the middle. Bit neater obviously. While I'm sewing them on, I'm also going to add a few of these little silver sequins as well. Here's how it's looking with those crystals and the sequins sewn on. I've decided I'm actually going to add another crystal up each point of the star as well, and some more sequins in the gaps there. So here's how it's looking with the extra crystals and sequins on. Starting to get really sparkly. Next I'm going to use the little seed beads again and these little short bugle beads to fill in the gaps, and I'm going to do them the same way as I did the edges. So starting from the middle and going to the outside, I'm going to do lines to sort of really exaggerate that star shape. Lastly, I'm going to add some of these larger seed beads, which is silver lined glass beads, just to fill in the gaps, and then I'm going to use the bugle beads just to go around the edge. I think where I put some of the beads and it's made the edges bulge, and I just want to make them a bit more straighter. It's looking a bit more flower like than star like at the moment. So this is my first one all beaded and finished now. So I put the bugle beads around the edge. It's still curving out a little bit. I think it's reading more flower than star, but it's still really pretty. I think I'm just going to be careful not to put so many beads in the center as I fill it in. So next I'm going to use the same beads and the same technique to do the 2 smaller stars. So these are my 3 beaded stars. They actually look a bit more like flowers now. Maybe I'll call them star flowers. I think they're pretty cute either way though. But they're done. Look how sparkly they are. So now I've finished all the beading, I can undo my frame and take the fabric out. Cool, so there's the fronts. And that's what they look like on the back. So they're really neat because I've used the invisible thread, you can't even see it. Next I'm just going to cut them out really roughly. Then I'm going to pop them into water just to dissolve this stabilizer that we use. Excellent, so I'm just going to go and rinse and dissolve the stabilizer and leave it to dry, and I'll be back to show you how I finish it. This is how they look once I've rinsed the stabilizer away and they're all dry. So next I'm just going to use my little pointy scissors to cut them out. If you want to, you can use these as appliques and just sew them straight onto something, but because we're making hair combs, I'm going to use my clear thread and sew them onto these metal combs. And I'm going to position that about there so the comb's nicely hidden once it's in the hair. So here are the finished combs. So you can use this technique to create any pattern you want. You can use all sorts of different beads. You could use old bits of jewellery to create parts of them as well if you wanted to. You can use your finished pieces for hair combs or put them on hair bands, or you can use them for appliques. You can do any shape or pattern that you want to. Just let your imagination run wild and get creating. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be back soon with more videos and tutorials.